A warm welcome and good morning to all. I'm very pleased to meet all the 2020 freshers who have joined Shastra from all degree programs from engineering, science, law, education, commerce, MBA, MCA across both the campus at Tanjore and at Kumbakonam. I hope all of you are very safe and healthy, and I wish and pray on part of all my colleagues here that you will remain safe all through 4 years of your education at Shastra and further onwards for the very simple reason a good health and a sound mind is the first ingredient or the greatest ingredient to do anything that is productive in this world. Now, let me introduce myself. I am PR Naren from the Chemical Engineering Department, School of Chemical and Biotechnology of Shastra. Today, we are going to begin the third week of our orientation. Now, I would borrow, rather adopt and adapt one of the learning from my own senior colleague and a peer whom we look onto at Shastra, Dr. S. Pugarendi from the School of Mechanical Engineering, who said, it is not just this orientation session of 3 hours that you have daily, that's the orientation. It is literally in terms of orienting the students towards online education system, and obviously also the orientation of the parents, because they also contribute equally for their own wards learning. So this orientation is not this 1.5 hours slots that you listen, but rather your mindset orientation towards learning online. That is the key point. Now, if you see in the last 2 weeks, you got introduced to what is Shastra, the broad academic framework. Now, any institution is known by what it gives to the society. So that means the alumni. So you got to interact with the alumni. You got to know what is the pride of our own alumni, what we have achieved. So you got to know about the different amenities, facilities, what are all the different activities that you can engage yourself during your 4 years of stay and journey with Shastra. So that is in terms of events. And obviously we also oriented you, we also prepared you both physically and mentally to make sure you are strong and sound to go into the actual learning process. Now this week starts a more kind of rigorous approach towards education in terms of we will begin with what is orientation to online education, and then we are subsequently going to have program specific orientation all through this week, and this will be followed by other instructions of, like, say for example, the certificate variation, so on and so forth, and we are going to begin the actual classes online mode from October 5th. So this week is after getting known of what is Shastra, its pride alumni, the place of Tanjore, you have oriented your health, mind, facilities, sports, cultural. Now let's come to the central core, which is the education, which is the online semester and your graduation at large. So this is the platform with which I would expect that you will see this week's complete sessions. Now let me share my slide and I will talk continuing further. So I'm just give me a couple of seconds so that I'll just share my slide. So I hope everybody is able to see the slides and it is presented well. So topic of this specific orientation session is to do with what is introduction to the online education that you are going to have. Now this is a 1.5 hour slot as usual, like any orientation session. And I'm going to roughly plan for about 60 to 70 minutes, and then I will take up the queries specific to online education that you post in the chat. Now, the presentation is structured on these points or pointers. These are not only the pointers for you, rather these are also pointers for me to make sure that I progress smoothly this orientation session. So we will see what is all is to do with this university education. And from university education, we will come to what is online education and the specifics, specifically with respect to Shastra. I will brief you, or rather, you have heard already some terms with respect to the academic terminology, but I'll any case revisit those academic terminology, which could be at the beginning little different from what you have learned in the school. Let's see what is the readiness that you need to have for online semester, and how are we going to leverage the online semester. And of course, I want to show you some demonstration of Google Classroom. I know that you have already started using Google Classroom as part of your communication skill workshop, but nevertheless, it is good that we can see this demonstration so that you don't have any difficulty later on when the classes begin. So this is the outline of today's talk. Now, what is university education? Now, I just thought of myself for the last 2 days that what it is in my perspective and university education is all about. And I am restricting to any institutionalized form of education wherein you join an university to pursue a degree program. A university education, in my opinion, has four pillars or four entities that describe this education at large. One is the knowledge component, then the skill component, the value component, and the purpose component. Now let's just have a quick snapshot on what is all these four components it is. Now this is what sorry, I'll just go to the slide before. Yeah, this is what I see as the different pillars or the different primary components of any degree program that we envisioned to obtain through a university education. The first and the foremost, and rather the core, is also the knowledge component. So the knowledge component, for example, now whatever I have written here, these are just examples or a snapshot within this. So each of these bullet points itself, we can talk for hours. So I'm just going to tell you in a nutshell what are these four different components. The knowledge per se is all the factual information that you gain pertaining to a discipline in the form of the subjects or the courses that you study. This is not only restricted to the academic knowledge, this is also with respect to every other forms of knowledge, be it the knowledge that you want to gain in terms of sports, in terms of arts and music. So the knowledge component is not necessarily related in terms of the course that you study, but everything that you acquire during your stay in the university education. The next is the skills. Though we say that knowledge is a core, but this core cannot function, cannot be obtained without having those skills. For example, just an half an hour before you were in a skill session, you were actually getting a skill, which is a communication skill, specifically to English communication skill. But last week, if you recollect, you had one more orientation to a skill, which is called the inquiry skill on the Engineers Day. So similarly, we have a lot of other skills, like, for example, analytical skill you have to know. You need to know the problem solving skills. Now, these are the skills, right, which help you, which aid you better in this acquisition of this knowledge. Now, this is just a partial list, but one can have a lot many such skills. Now, this skill, in turn, if you ask to acquire this knowledge, it all depends on the value proposition that one gets during the part of educational phase. Now, values, I don't necessarily mean the personal values, like for example, honesty, speaking truth, and so on, which is obviously common to all the people, irrespective of their education. Like for example, when we say honesty is the best policy, then obviously that is common immaterial of what degree program we pursue. But beyond these personal attributes, we also have something called professional attributes or professional ethics, or in terms of integrity, what we should, how we should conduct as members of a particular discipline. Like for example, if you are a chemical engineer, like say, which I am by my training, now what are the expected value attributes in a chemical engineer in a society as part of my work? If you are a law graduate, what is an expected value you are supposed to reflect, you are supposed to radiate, okay, as part of the value proposition? So this is something that we have to see. That's one strong pillar of education at large. And obviously, all these three, okay, is driven by the very large purpose of why we learn, why we acquire this degree. So that's a very, very fundamental question. And what is the output or outcome of our the education degree itself at large? So this purpose can be the contribution to the self, it's knowing to the self, or it can be the contribution to the university. What am I going to contribute to this society through this educational degree program? So this is something one must understand, one must know, one must unearth, one must realize during their educational span. And Shastra's degree program, right, is something enriches with all these four platforms. We have integrated all these four fundamental platforms or the pillars of an education very finely, so that in this, all these 4 years, eventually we lead you, we expect, we train you, we streamline the process so that you find your purpose of learning and become meaningful contributors to the self, that means to your own, and also to the society in which we all belong. So though I have listed in like this, now if you actually see, it starts with the purpose, and from the purpose we actually have to have a value system, which then you necessitates, requires skills, and through the skills we learn, acquire this knowledge, and make use of the contribution. I can summarize this education, again borrowing from one of my colleague from the School of Education, that the education should lead to a change, right? Any education as a matter should lead to a change, and that change is something, is the learning that we get from experience. So education should lead to this change of having a learning experience. And this learning experience, I would say, in my opinion, I'll put it in 4 different E's. So this education giving learning experience is something related to this 4 E's. I'll just give us 2 seconds. Can you just think of these 4 E's, right? Maybe you need not text, right? It is okay, but you can just think of in yourself, and we can take it up. Maybe when you see the next slide, you will know what is our 4 E's. I hope you got some of the E's. Let us see what are the 4 E's that I meant. One is enrich, another is expertise, then we evolve and explore. So enrich, expertise, okay, evolve and explore. Now, what are these four E's to do with the education becoming learning experience, can you just recollect in terms of what we saw in the slide before, in terms of the four components of knowledge, skills, values, and purpose? This is what I would like to relate. We need to enrich ourselves with the knowledge, get ourselves expertised with the different skills. The value system is something that we evolve over a period of time, right? It does not comes in just a day, but it has to be evolved. And finally, we explore to find our purpose. Is it clear? So this is what I would relate these four E's combining with these four pillars. So I repeat, so it is expected that any student who is part of an university education system, okay, in the pursuit of acquiring a degree program leading to a learning experience, is expected that he or she will enrich himself or herself with the knowledge, will get expertise of the different skills that helps us to acquire, enrich this knowledge. We evolve our own value system as we go through the process of education, and eventually we explore to find the possibilities, we explore to find the larger purpose of our education. I hope I have made a meaningful appeal to all of you on what it means by a university education. So moving forward, we will just take a small interaction in terms of the questions that we are going to have. I would request you to either log into this portal, www.menti.com, use this extension like WDPEYVHR9H, or you just go to menti.com and just put the code 110 followed by 46, 1106666. Right? So we are just going to take a kind of a quick feedback before I move from university education to the online education. So you have to now open a browser. I expect that you open a browser and you log in with this menti.com, use this code or use this information. Right? So I'll just stay here for a second so that you can note it down. The code, it is 110 followed by 46 or this URL. Now let me just come out from my presentation. I will also go to the menti.com and we will start presenting from there. I hope this is your first slide you must be seeing, and I could see that there are already 240 and the number is increasing. So there are many people who have joined, right? So the code is displayed above. If you forgot, you can just go to menti.com and then put this code of 110 followed by 46 and you can join. So I could see that there are people joining. Let us just take a small gap here for 1 or 2 seconds so that we will have our own friends joining. Now don't worry, this is just to make you understand, or I just want to have your own feedback of what it means by online education before telling my perspective of online education. So that's why we will just have this quick snapshot. So just let's wait for a minute. I hope while we wait, I think you will recollect that that you need to, in this 4 years, enrich yourself with knowledge, get yourself expertised, with the skills, and evolve your value system, and eventually explore to find the purpose of your education. So there are about close to 700 students now. So I'll go to the next slide. Now you will see a question there that before this COVID period, if I say online education, what does it comes to you in your mind? I mean, forget about the COVID. So let's go back, let's say to the last calendar year. If it comes, if you think as an online education, okay, not during this time, what is the online education that you had? What you think as an online education, right? Or do you think if you had any online education, can you type that word? Okay, can you type the word what you had as an online education? Now you could see here that people are populating. The word good is throughout the center. So I think many people are saying it as good. So what is online education? Can you give example of an online education? What it means as online education? This is what was online education that I experienced, right? So you could constantly see that there is good and fun, but there is also another word, a challenging word we could see as boring, which is hovering around the center, right? So I think there's a tough competition between boring and good, right? Fun, so suddenly boring going out, right, to the periphery. Now some of the words have almost disappeared, right? And additional support, better, right? Still good, boring, nothing interesting, difficult. So you can see a word difficult suddenly coming in, right? We had about 400, almost 500 responses, right? So this is 500 responses are there now. Okay, virtual classroom, I could see virtual classroom, somebody has put. That's okay. So we had 500 responses. So we'll go. So that means you have some opinion of an online education already. So we will go to the next question. What is this? You're asked to pause and then get back to the live stream. So that means now you come out of this, right? And let's go to the live stream itself. Is it clear? So you will come out of the Menti screen now. Don't close it. We are going to have one more a short question. But as of now, just come back of your Menti screen and let's go back to the slide. So we will go back to the slide and we will continue with the slide to discuss on this. So that means you are texted lot many words, like for example, it is not necessary, good, fun, online classes, and so on and so forth. But what I wanted you to reflect is, was COVID a reason for online education, or is it an accelerator of online education? Do you think that only because of COVID we had this online? We never had otherwise any online. So can you think of non-COVIDian examples of online education? I'm not going to type anything here, but I'm just asking you to reflect. Was there any non-COVIDian examples before the COVIDian era, whether we had online education? We definitely had. There was lots of informal learning, right? So we learned in terms of our problem statements, or sometimes in schools, the homework statements used to come on WhatsApp. We used to see YouTube videos to know about some experiments. And I'm sure you might have taken examination such as NEET or CLAT. Okay, so that means for that you would have referred to any online videos for learning. And not only just it's part of your courses, like say for example, if you are learning swimming, I'm very sure you might have browsed YouTube for examples of how to learn this butterfly stroke and something like that. So that means we have used invariably online education even before COVID, right? It may be part of our school system, it may be voluntarily searched, okay, but we learned. Is it clear? So we learned, right? We used the online medium to learn. That means COVID is not a reason for online education. The COVID just made sure that we accelerated by probably a time frame, and we adapted and adopted online education. Is it clear? So we just adopted and adapted very quickly because we need to face the challenge to keep learning continual during this online education also, right? I mean, by having an online education, we wanted to ensure that the learning is continuous, right? So I won't say, in my opinion, that COVID is a reason for us, but the COVID just made sure that we take online education in a much more coherent, much more streamlined, much more sincere and a serious note, because we have left with no option. Probably we can't afford to discontinue our learning. That will be a colossal damage. So that is why we used this opportunity to streamline the online education system or the online means of learning into a formal framework. So that's the mindset that I wanted you to have. Now, before I go to the next slide, I would again want to go to the Menti screen. So I'm just switching between my PowerPoint and the Menti so that we will take up some activity and so that it is interactive. So you can go back in a tab in another screen. So just see the code. In case if you have closed the tab, you can open it again, menti.com, and put the code as 110 followed by 46. And I'm suppose you are in this screen. Is it clear? So you are waiting for my next question. Okay. So you are waiting for my next question. So there are like 500. So I'll just wait for a minute so that let all your own friends, your own peer learners also join us with this Menti screen. I'm just going to have one more question, and then don't worry for this discomfort of going back from the presentation to the Menti. I just want to take one more opinion, one more feedback from all the young students before I go further with my presentation. So there are about 600. So I'll just go to the next question. Yeah. Now, if you think of online education, what do you think as a difficulty or a challenge for yourself in this learning? Okay. What do you think as a difficulty or as a challenge? Okay. Eye pain, fantastic. Empathy, very nice word, right? With this word empathy, nice, it's very nice. So don't look into the screen and you just type in your own response as the challenge. What is the challenge that or the difficulty that you think that you will face in an online education? This is something that is a very difficult thing when I think of online education. What would be that word? So interaction and network issue, distraction, right? I think network issue, interaction, I think I'm very happy that all the students are able to connect to that word interaction, right? So the whole genesis of education revolves around interaction between two learners. I won't say between a teacher and a student. I would say two learners. One is a very experienced learner, whom we call it as a teacher because he's experienced or she is experienced in terms of years, and then another is a naive learner who wants to acquire this knowledge. So this interaction between two learners is an extremely key fundamental in learning. And obviously we have this eye pain, lack of concentration, distraction, right? So we have a distraction, lack of concentration, eye pain, or some of the words. And so I'm very happy that you could pinpoint into the center problem or the difficulty of challenge. So that's all. You can we will close. You need not be on this Menti screen. So that's all. You can continue now in the live stream. Okay, so we already had a lot of responses. We'll go back to the live stream now. So we'll go back to the live stream. Right now, some of these I have also tried to capture, so probably not in exact any particular order, but I'm happy that I could also capture the word interaction. But obviously, the access part captures the network issues and so on and so forth, and this mindset. So let me just take 1 or 2 minutes to explain what are the key attributes. Now, I don't say this as a difficulty per se or challenge. I would say that these are all the features itself of online education. These are all the known features or the known characteristics of the online education. The very first is the absence of in-person teaching. We are practiced probably from our kindergarten till we finish our 12th to something called in-person teaching, and suddenly we are now saying, I cannot see my teacher face to face. So that's a real shock for us, right? The next is a peer group, right? Whenever the class happens, we always used to talk to the person next to us also listening the class, either in terms of engagement or, as you said, I have put up in terms of distraction, but whatever it may be, that is a part of yes, that is a part of the education itself, that the peer learning. And then obviously we miss the classroom as an entity. There is no requirement of a physical classroom itself as an entity. Is it clear? So there is nothing like a physical classroom that's required, right? And obviously there's a change in the medium of delivery, right? And as you rightly pointed out, the interaction is different. But are these are the only things? No, right? So this classroom has now given reason to distributed learning. So long you might be having that all students or as learners, we come to a common place, which we call it as a university or a college or an institute, and then the learning happens there, right? But now you see, as a teacher, today now I am at Shastra Tanjavur. Now you are probably at all parts of India, and some of you are also outside India, but you are still watching and learning. There is some learning happening. So that means it's a multi-point system, right? There is nothing like learning space, one learning space. There are number of learning spaces. Learning space itself is distributed all through the student, right? And this online education gives rise to something called reflection, which I will take it up very specifically towards the end when I talk a little more about this. And obviously the access to online education is a great challenge, and how to keep my mind tuned to this kind of learning. That's a big challenge. That's where I recollect again the very notional idea from my own senior peer colleague who said that it is the orientation of us as students and faculty to learning that matters apart. Now, there are so many difficulties, or we call it as challenges, difficulties, or attributes. But You might be having a question. Your parents might be having a question. Is Shastra a right place to tackle all these challenges and difficulties of online education? Right? If I tell in Tamil, இது இவங்களால முடியுமா? Is it clear? Are they good enough as a place to meet these challenges of online education? Right? I want to convince you in one slide. Indeed, you are in a great place by citing examples of how we have met the challenges of online education as an university. Now, many of you may be very tech savvy. You might be seeing lots of news, right? And you might be knowing for sure now Shastra as a university is one of the earliest adopters for smooth transition of the last academic year. We literally did not have a break because we started our online classes for the last academic year on the 23rd of the March. Within just 5 days of a nationwide lockdown, we ensured our students do not have any transition, right, break. And this online assessments and examination also, it's not only the classes, following all government norms and regulation, taking health all into account, we were again the pioneer, one of the earliest, or rather the institute to go for online assessment and examinations. We conducted examinations for the graduation 2020 batch. You might be knowing that a few institutes are still finding out how to convert, how to do their examination, but we did it successfully, right? Not only we did it successfully, we graduated the 2020 batch, right? We commenced the second, third, and the final year. So that means for your online semesters of your seniors, it commenced on 10th August, at least by 45 days before than anybody else is now planning to think of. And all our faculty are empowered and equipped. This, maybe as a student, you may not be worrying, but your parents may be worrying whether is the faculty equipped, are they trained, are they empowered? Yes, we did it. We had specific workshops during the session when you are just about to know, when we just sensed that we are entering lockdown, we just ensured that all our faculty are empowered and equipped to embrace this. So I hope this is testimonial for you to get convinced that indeed you are in a place which is take care of you very well in this online education. Is it clear? So we have got testimonials in this last. I'll quickly go through a snapshot of what is an academic curriculum. This is probably you might have already learned or seen this, but I just want to do it because this week is all to do with online education, so this would be important. Your academic curriculum consists of it's a semester pattern, so there are typically 2 semesters per year, an odd and an even. Every semester will have a certain defined courses, what we call as a course. Like for example, in your school, you might be calling it as a subject, math subject, commerce subject, history as a subject. We call in university as a course. Now, each course is having a course code and a course name. This course code is something which is very new to you. Now, in school, you don't have a code for English. You don't have a code for physics. You will just say, I'm studying physics, maths, something like that. But we here say, I am studying MAT 101, engineering mathematics. I am studying ENG 102, technical communication. So we have something called a code. Each course will have an objective, why it has to be learned. It has something called a credit structure, which I'll show you in the next slide. It has a well-defined syllabus, and the learning outcome defines what is expected out of this course. And we earn the credit, okay, we earn the credit for successful completion of the course. Now, semester by semester, if you earn all the credits, every degree program has a certain total number of credits. Like for example, the engineering program has 180, the master's program has 90, and so forth. So this in detail you might be seeing in program specific orientation, but I just want to tell you the terminology for you. Now let's just say how the course is defined. So you might be, this 4-word LTPC might be banging on your ears all through 4 years now. This LTPC as a course structure stands for lecture, tutorial, practical, and credits. Lecture is what we typically deliver. Tutorial is in terms of practice session. This is typically for the practice hands-on, and the credit is something what we give for a course. In many courses, this credits also denotes how many periods you will have per week, right? Now, like for example, a theory course, like say mathematics as a theory course, because it will have an LTPC like 3104. I'm not saying all courses have like this. I'm just giving you a snapshot so that you can understand the document that I will show you. Like for example, theory is something like 3104. A lab course, suppose if you have the chemistry lab, or if you have an engineering mechanics lab, it will be something like this. LTPC will be like 0021 because it is only on hands-on. There are courses which are semi-theory, semi-lab. This is something very unique that we have established in Shastra, that we don't separate theory from practice. Concurrently, lab and theory happens. So we have a structure like this. And obviously, there are courses which have long-term internships and projects as part of all the degree program. Like for example, the B Optom or the M Optom or the B.Ed programs have internships, and all other programs have projects which are very long, kind of where you have to involve yourself in work and earn 9 credits. So this is something like how we classify the courses on a very broad level based on their LTPC. Now, there may be many questions on syllabus and timetable. Please don't panic, right? At the commencement of the classes, we will give you the timetable. Your timetable you can view under the student web interface, which is there under the parents corner menu of Shastra. So you can go there, can register. Now you need not register. You will get information certainly in Shastra portal and also by email about how this registration, and everybody will be given their syllabus at the commencement of online classes through the respective Google Classroom, right? I'm just going to show you here what is a typical syllabus in case if somebody was wondering what could be a syllabus. Like this is what a syllabus will mean. Okay, so I'm just giving a syllabus of my course, so please don't take it. This is not a first year syllabus, so purposefully I'm just giving the course of mine. So this is what I said as LTPC. So this is a course name. This is what is a course code. Okay, and this is LTPC. For this, you have objectives, you have well-defined topics that will be covered as part of this course. And obviously, there will be textbook and reference books with links. And there will be either a course outcome or a learning outcome where it will be specifically listed what you will learn when you complete this course. So this is a typical syllabus. Now, this is not for any first year. I'm just showing you a sample. Let me go back to my slide. Now, how are we going to have our classes? We are going to have our classes on the Google Classroom. So that means we are no longer going to have a physical classroom. We are going to have a Google Classroom as our digital space, right? And this digital space is for us to have all the learning materials connected to it. And this will also, sorry, just go back. Yeah, this will also serve as as a repository to store the learning materials and the pre-recorded videos, right? We will use Google Meet as a platform, to engage in our live classes. And off-class engagement can be using Google Chat or WhatsApp. Now, you might have already experienced this Google Meet as part of your communication course, but and also Google Chat and WhatsApp could have been possibly used, but I will just take a little time and show in this demo a little bit of this Google Classroom. Now, what about attendance, right? Now you might be, if you have your seniors here or your other friends who are studying in Shastra, you must be knowing that for this online semester, we don't have attendance per se. But if you ask a question, why we need to have an attendance first? Now, two things can come to my mind. Attendance may be because of part of a regulation. It's because part of a rule or some legal requirement that we want to certify that so-and-so was there in the class. The next concept of attendance is primarily because we expect students to attend a certain number of classes. Because by attending the certain number of classes, that means by hearing certain number of classes or duration, we expect that you acquire knowledge. I repeat again, we expect that by hearing certain number of hours of lectures, we expect a student to learn a concept. But now if you think in online system, do we really want this attendance as part of these 2 points? Now you are at your home, so that means you are well taken care of. So there's no need of a regulatory physical check. And the next is obviously, do you think you can hear only once the classes? Now, can you think of these pre-recorded videos? Now, typically when you attend class, you can only hear once. Like say, for example, today morning, if you are in your school and 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock is your max period, if you didn't attend today, there was no chance that you can hear what your teacher told. But now think of the online. So we have something called recorded videos and the pre-recorded videos. So any number of times you can listen. So that's why there is no attendance. But this attendance should not be taken as an excuse for not attending the online class. The online class is in any case a live interaction. Now, how you have to kept ready yourself for this online semester? Now, you ensure that you are aware of these two, Google Classroom and Google Meet. I will show the demonstration towards the end, but it is expected that you install, you are well aware of this. You need to have a certain hardware requirements. Okay, so it could be a laptop or a tab or a mobile. I do expect that you might have also your siblings learning along with you. So come with some optimal usage appropriateness of using the hardware and also choosing an internet data, some good appropriate data pack. You choose a learning place where you can sit and devote yourself to learning. Now, if you recollect the words that you posted in the Mentimeter, you said that distraction. Now, why we usually don't get distraction when we go to school? Because when I enter the class, I keep my mind as if now I have to study, right? When the teacher comes, when I go to the class, I think that I have to study, I have to learn, I have to listen. But that may not be the case at home because you might be getting many sounds, somebody else might be coming to your home and so on and so forth. So it is now your responsibility, it is your personal commitment or rather the right will to ensure that you keep a very good learning place and ambience for you to learn. Now, what are the special things with which we can encounter, which can overcome the challenge of this online semester? Obviously, one is the good physical health and then optimal resources. Is it clear? So you need to ensure that your health is nice and you have an optimal resources because that will prepare you to first learn. You need to make sure that you attend all the live classes for the purpose of engagement, right? We may not have a physical in-learning possible unless we have instructions of the government and the norms, health norms, which will make us to reopen the university, which we want to see, we want to see all of you. But till that time, I wish that probably the video mode is the best when, I won't say compensate, but to a good extent supplement the physical classes. So ensure that you attend all the live classes, engage with your teacher, right? Learn the process of note taking and note making. When you attend a college or a school or an institute, you might think that probably I will not take notes, I will borrow it with my friend. But now that may not be viable, because you may not be able to easily see your friend's notes. And I would always advise that it is always good if you make notes in your own handwriting, because that makes sure that the learning goes to the mind. So whenever you listen to a lecture, please have a strip of paper and then jot down points, right? Revisit and reflect. There is a very purpose of why I put on bold, because when you are in physical class, you cannot come to this class again and listen. Like as I said, if morning 9 to 10 is a max class, after this max class is over, you can no way listen to the entire talk of your max teacher or your science teacher. You can only ask your friends, you can see their notes, or probably read from textbook. But can you see, this is the single largest advantage, a strength of an online semester is you will have recorded videos available. Now, many were also asking about recorded videos of the orientation session, and we have told that at the end of orientation session, we will process all the videos and we will make it available. Not just only the orientation session, for every class, every faculty, they will record the live class and they will make it available so that you can go back to the exact time and then see what your teacher has explained. Semester. This is not possible. This is not possible in an online. This is not possible, sorry, in a physical class. So, but this is a great thing which you can do in an online semester. So use the online semester to reflect and revisit the class so that you learn better, right? Suppose the first 10 minutes you could not understand, or the 10th minute you could not understand, you can go back to this video and then do that. And always reach us for help. So you can indeed write email to your respective deans and associate deans. Their email IDs are available under the schools, which is under the academic menu at Shastra. So if you go to academics schools, you will see the deans of your schools and associate deans. You can very well feel free to write to them, and they will respond certainly in a very reasonable time to help you mitigate the issue to the best extent. Now we will go for a quick demonstration. Now whatever I'm showing is just a demonstration, so you need to just see it, you don't need to follow it. Now for the demonstration, I have a student account. So let's say I have already logged into one student account, which is like this demo one, and I also have a demo student account. Now typically if at the beginning of the semester, as I said, you will receive the course code syllabus document with complete information, the timetable. Apart from that, what you will receive is the Google Classroom join code. Now, if you go to classroom.google.com, so you have to go to classroom.google.com, and with this you have to join. If you are going for the first time, now see, I am a student here, so this demo 2 is a student login. For the first time, if I go to classroom.google.com, this is what the screen will look like. It will ask you whether can you continue. You just say continue, and it will ask you whether you have to pick a role as a student or a teacher. Obviously, you have to pick a role as a student. So from the student register number.shastra.ac.in, go to classroom.google.com, pick a role as a student, and this is what would be the landing page. You don't see here any Google Classroom because you have not yet joined any Google Classroom. Is it clear? You will get invitation to join your respective course Google Classroom towards the beginning or the commencement of the classes. So that means in the first week of October, you will receive invitations. You will receive the classroom code for every courses pertaining to your first semester for each of the degree program. So today, you don't need to get anxious. We will do this as we proceed further, but I'm just going to show you the demo of how to join. Now, let's say from a teacher, now this is a teacher login, so you don't need to look into this credentials. Let's say I am inviting a student, and I will show you how that student will get an invite. So from a teacher login, I am just going to invite. So I'm just going to invite a student by name this email ID, and I have sent the invite. Now this process our faculty will do. Now, if you go and refresh your Google Classroom, you will see that there will be an invite coming here. Now, I have named it as demo course, but it would be with the course code and the course name specific to your degree program and the semester. All you have to do is you have to join. Now, you can go here also and join, and you might also receive an email as I show now. Like for example, when you go to your email with your shastra.ac.in, now you can see here, if you click here, there will be an invitation and it will say that join this particular course. This will be the name of the faculty. So please don't see this now, and you have to join. So you can either join by clicking here, or you can join by clicking here. So this goes to the landing page. So you have joined the class. So I'll show it again. So once you have joined the class, if you just click on the main menu and then go to classes, so you will clearly see that you have joined the class. This is one way of joining the class. The next way of joining the class is the faculty might have given you a class code. Now this class code is only for demo, so you don't practice, you don't need to remember or do anything. Faculty will share you a class code, okay, and all you have to do is use that code to join. For example, when you go to your register number.ac.in, you will see this plus icon at the top, and you just click here and it will ask for the class code. You just put your class code, right, and then sign in. You put your class code and then say join. Right, you don't need to do now because this is just a demo course, so you don't need to do it, but that is how you will join. So I repeat, so you go to this classes, click on this plus, put the class code, and then click join, so you can join. Now once you have joined, like for example, take this demo course 1, if you go to the people, you can know who are all your teachers. Okay, so you can know your teachers. You can also see who are all your classmates. Now this course has now currently 2 students, of which you are one. Okay, so this demo student 1 is 1 student. The other student is this demo student 1, and I am in the demo student 2. I think there is somebody who is trying to join. I repeat, you need not join this demo course. This is just for this presentation. It is being shown. Right, so there is other students also, you will be listed here. This is first thing that you have to know. Now your teacher might post the syllabus or the learning material. Once your teacher posts the learning material, now that will be visible. Let me just post it as a teacher. So let's say I am posting it as a teacher. Now this is a syllabus for, like say, MAT 102 course. So I'm just doing as a teacher, so you don't need to see this, right? So as a teacher, I'll just post this course syllabus, right? And I'm posting it. So once a teacher posts the syllabus, right, go back, refresh again, right, you will see a notification saying that so and so has posted a syllabus. You need to just click this, right? You need to just click this, and if there is an attachment, you can just open and you can download this. This is how you will download the material, be it syllabus or anything else. Even videos will be posted like this, and you will get an information in the stream section. So this is called the stream, the classwork and the people. So you can see also in the classwork, but you can also see in the stream session. This is one thing. Now, what is another thing particularly I want to show is the assignment part. Now, your teacher might post assignment or tutorials. So once your teacher posts tutorials or assignment, this could be something for your practice, something for your evaluation. Now, where can you see this? You again go to this classwork tab, or this would be in the stream tab. I already posted yesterday, so that is why it's coming here. So if you go to the stream classwork tab, there is something called assignment. You just click here and you just say view assignment. So your teacher has posted an assignment saying that you have to write about all the states and union territories and their capitals. So this is a question which the teacher has given, and now you need to respond. Typically, you respond by attaching a file. Is it clear? So let us assume that I'll just open some file which is not pertaining to you, but I'll just, let's say I have written down, either you might have written down your solution as a document, or you might have written on a paper and taken a picture of that. So you have an image of that or a PDF of that. All you have to do is, in this assignment, you need to click here. Okay, you need to click here, add the file here, and then do it. Now, before doing this, I will just show you how to know that even in the front screen, how to have an assignment being posted. So if you go to this classroom, now you can see here for this course, an assignment is posted and it is expected by Wednesday for submission. Now you can also click on this to do. You will see here, this is an assignment that is posted in the demo course 1. So I'll show you again. If you go to classes, assignment posted will come here with the due date, or you can go to do and then see this, that there is an assignment being posted. So you click on that, you will come back to the same screen. Now let's say that you have your images ready that you want to upload as part of your solution as a response. All you have to do is you have to click add, then say file, because I have it as a file in my computer. Now it need not be a Word document. It can be any document that you want to submit it. So let's say I just want to submit this document as an assignment. So your assignment gets uploaded. It can be an image file. If you have multiple files, you can add another file also. Okay, so if you have multiple files, you can add another file also. Let's say I will now add a PDF. So it is not required that everything should be the same file. So you can add multiple files. Once you have finished, you can just give a note to the teacher. You can give a private note to the teacher. I'll say submitted the assignment, something like this. You can just post this comments, and you are expected to turn in the assignment. You are expected to turn in the assignment. It will ask whether you should turn in. Just say turn in. Right, and now you can see that you have completed. Now if you go back again to classes, you don't see the due because you have already completed. If you go to do, you don't see anything is assigned. Rather, you go to your done tab, it says that you have already done this assignment, right, and it is being turned in. Now when your teacher evaluates, you will get back comments and also marks in the same. In case if it is having a marks, let's say for example, as a teacher, let me quickly evaluate just as a practice to show where is this. The teacher will read your submission. Okay, and the teacher may comment something like, right. So let's say as a teacher, I'm commenting, okay, step 3 has to be recalculated, something like that. Procedure is neat. Okay. something like that, and this teacher might post a comment. The teacher might also give marks. Let's say the teacher has given mark. Once the teacher has returned with you with the comment and the mark, now you again just go back to your classes, go to your demo course, go to the classwork, just go to this assignment, you click on this assignment, right? You can see that you have got the marks, which is displayed here, and you also have a comment from the your teacher or a faculty. I hope this is clear of how to join. So we have seen how to join, where to see the materials, how to upload the assignment. Now you will receive your course join code or invite towards the commencement of classes. So I hope this is a short demonstration made you comfortable with your Google Classrooms. So you will have 5 or 6 Google Classrooms as part of your learning. Now you can also use Google Classroom to chat, propose your questions pertaining to the subject. Okay, I have a doubt in the video at 10th minute. The derivation is not clear. Can you kindly clarify in tomorrow's class? So you just have to post to your sir or madam, your teacher, and then say post. So if you post, so that will be visible and your teacher might engage. You can also engage in discussions with your classmates like this, right? So this is how you need to use the Google Classroom as a learning repository, and also for your assignment, and also as a repository of your classwork material. I will just take the Q&A session. So to take the Q&A session, I'm just coming out of my presentation for time being. So I'm just stop sharing the presentation. I will look into your questions. And
Yeah, Dr. Naren?
Yeah.
Yeah. So before you take the first question, can you
Yeah.
just I saw your presentation. Thank you very much. Wonderful presentation.
Yeah.
So students are already now part of this Google Classroom for the communication workshop.
Yes.
So they have already been assigned to different sections. So that's their first taste of a Google Classroom. So why don't you encourage them, advise them to make full use of it tomorrow and the day after, so that they know the functionalities.
Right.
Of course,
Uh,
listening to what the resource person is saying.
yes. So I think you are, as Dr. Vaidya has told, now start using the Google Classroom for more effective engagement with respect to communication. So you might be having your communication thing. I'll just share again and I'll show how to pose questions, because that was one of the question itself. So I'll just quickly share my screen and I will show you where to post question. So suppose if you are a student, you might be having your communication batch. It will be like ECS batch 10, 12, something like that. Click there. Okay, click it there. So you go to this stream session, click here, and I'll say, okay. So for example, if I was a student, I would ask my communication teacher, is fluency is more important, or clarity of communication? This is, I have a doubt. Okay, so maybe I might have not asked during the presentation, during the online live lecture. So I want to ask this to my teacher and just post it. So your teacher might also respond here, okay, and probably as another student. So we need engagement between the students. The peer engagement is also required. So as another student also can type here the responses. So in this way, you can start using the Google Classroom as a means of peer group discussion. I hope this clears this question. So I'll go to the question 1. Books for first year and learning materials. Yes. Towards the beginning of the courses or the classes in October, we will share the syllabus, right? And you will be informed duly of the same. Yeah, the second one question is there are people who are asking how to change the phone number or the email ID and everything. Now, this can be done during the document verification step. The document verification step instructions will be put in the portal at the end of this week, so that the next week is given for you to do that. The timing for online classes. Now, typically, this is a third question from a student. Typically, all the classes are scheduled between 8:45 to 5:15 p.m. But we have ensured that you will, on a given day, have at the maximum like 3 or 4 classes, and we will not have most often the next to next classes. There is sufficient time given between 2 classes so that the challenge or the eye pain, the irritation is taken care of. So you don't need to glue yourself to your digital media all through. So we have taken care of that. So when the timetable comes, the exact time for every course will be available. How to register in the student web interface? Now the instructions for this will be again put towards the end of this orientation session. I will just show you, probably I'll just share the screen and show you where is the student web interface as such. But then towards, you don't need to register today. You will be informed when you should take up this registration. So if you go to shastra.edu, now if you click on this parents corner, so if you go to shastra.edu, there is something called student and parent web interface. So it's not only for the students will have a facility to change their password, which they have to remember. And the parents also, all the timetable will be available for also parents to check, so that the parents, some parents are a little anxious to know that, so they can also check it. So this student web interface, okay, so I think this is HTTPS, sorry. I just changed my laptop network, so I'm on a mobile, right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so this is what you will see as a student web interface, where you have to register with your register number, and the default password will be shared to you at the first login. After the first login, you are supposed to change the password, right? I'll just stop sharing it. How to ask doubt? This is the next question. How to ask doubt to our teachers in online session? I have showed you now. You just have to ask in the stream session of a particular course, and the faculty will either answer in the stream itself as a response, or will take it up in the tomorrow's class. I mean, whenever is the next class is scheduled. Where can we get the recorded videos? The recorded videos as such, for the orientation, we will release and send you email. Now for the respective courses, it will be put by the faculty itself. Now for example, I will just maybe show you, I cannot show on the demo, but I'll just show you my own regular class. So I'm taking class for chemical engineers. I'll just show you how those students get access to the recorded courses. So this is a course which I take for chemical engineers 5th semester. Now I post like this, the recorded videos, right? So you can see this is the class of 19th September. Whatever is the class was conducted. So the material and the video is posted. So the student have to just click this and watch this video. I wish to emphasize here, sorry, I think I didn't share the screen. So kindly excuse me, I'll just share the screen again and show you. Sorry for the glitch. Yeah, so I think the screen is now. If this is a course, okay, let me go to my own course. Okay, so I am showing where to see the videos, where the faculty will typically put the videos, taking example of my own course, which I take for chemical engineering fifth semester. This is the name of the course is Chemical Engineering Thermodynamics 2. Now, if you see here, every a day's class and the videos are put here. Like for example, you can see here that I have posted the 19th September class material. What was taught on this, a small gist and the video. So the student has to just click this video and then watch it. So this is how the students can see the video pertaining to their courses when the classes begins. As far as the orientation videos are concerned, that will be put up on the YouTube and you will get a communication of the same. So this network issue related queries, I do understand that those are very important, but somehow we need to find an optimal way to have a good data plan so that we are in the live class. In a very uneventful case of a network glitch, ensure that you watch the recorded videos on the day end and make sure your learning is not compromised. But I want to emphasize, just because you have access to recorded videos of the class, do not take it as a leeway of not attending a live class. I wish everybody should attend the live session. The facility of recorded videos is an added advantage of helping us to go back, reflect, recap, and then ensure that the learning is done in a much more effective manner. So this recorded video is not an option for not attending the classes. In case of network issue, if at all you are not able to attend, then you can use this recorded videos. So I'll just look into the chat room for some questions. Now, there are some questions on, do you require a camera enabled laptop? Per se, it's not, right? Because many a times you have to only see your teacher will not ask to see you, right? So don't compel your parents to buy a new camera laptop. If you're already having a laptop and it is working fine, I think that's more than sufficient, right? Now, there is a question on how to apply Google Code in classroom. So I'll just again share the screen and I'll show you again. It is where you have to do it. So if you are on a student account, let's say I'm on a student account. If you go to classroom.google.com, at the top, you will see a plus icon. Click there. Now here you have to type in the code. Now this is not the code, but I'm just typing the code. So you type the code of your particular course and then join it. Now for your respective courses, your code will be made, as I said, during the first week of October, just before the commencement of classes. And you will also get invite. So please checking the email. I'll just look into the classes start from October 5th. This is for all degree programs. That's one core. That is one question is in the chat. Now there's a question whether the classes will be throughout. No, the classes will not be throughout the day. The classes typically we have only 4 hours or 3 hours on a day, and there is a break of 1 hour in most of the cases, right? So I'm just quickly going through the questions, right? Yeah, there's a question who asks like whether can you join without the course code. Without the course code or an invite, you will not be able to join. So you need to have a course code or an invite to join your regular courses. So this is okay. So there's one more question which I see here. What is the duration of the class? Every class, a period, as you say typically in school, is for 1 hour. Is it clear? So this orientation is 1.5 hours because we want to dedicate 20 minutes to question answer. So otherwise, let's say if you have your mathematics class will be of 1 hour duration. There's a question on, will the entire semester be online? Yes, until the government gives norms for reopening of the physical classes. Only when we are very sure that the classes can be reopened, the physical campus can be reopened to have all the students, only we are when ensured and confident that we can have students in the campus, we will reopen. So you don't need to get panicked. Okay, so you don't need to get panicked. I would advise the parents not to get anxious. We will ensure that whenever we open the physical campus, all your children will be safe in our campus. Now there's another question on the lab sessions. Now in this semester, that's a good question. I forgot. Thank you for that student who has asked that. Now the online semester, we are only going to have theory classes. That means we will not have the practical courses, right? The practical courses, like for example, physics lab, electronics lab, machines lab, these will not be held for the very simple reason you can't conduct a lab in your home when you don't have resources to it. So that's literally not possible. That's a hand skill. So we will not have any of the practical courses for this online semester. The lab sessions will be compensated in the next semester. So it's not like we are canceling the lab courses. The lab courses will be held appropriately whenever the physical campus opens. So I'll just wait for a minute or two to see the questions. So when will our first semester begin? Your first semester actually indeed has begun. It has begun with the orientation for you, and the classes will begin from 5th of October. All right. There's a question on when the students will have to register in the student web interface. Please look for instructions in the Shastra portal. You will get a circular from the registrar asking you to register in the student web interface, and you will be given the first login password. Till that time, you don't need to register at the student web interface. Any other questions? I'm just looking into the questions. Okay, now, so I think I have some 5 minutes. I just want to show you two things very particular with respect to your email usage. So I'll just share the screen and do that, and with that we will end. So I'm just sharing the screen again. Okay, now let's say this is your email. I hope the screen is shared. Now, two things I want every student to do. Not do immediately, but do towards the end of the now, so I think I have some 5 minutes. I just want to show you two things very particular. Hello. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to show two things in particular with respect to the email. One, when you go to your email, just have an email signature so that when you send email to your teacher, we know your credentials, we know which branch and everything. So I'm just going to show you how to have an email signature. Just click on this wheel kind of icon, go to see all settings. Okay, so you are in the general tab. You just come to a thing called signature. So you are clicking this wheel kind of icon, open all settings, go to general, and then come to a signature, you just say create now. So you give a name for yourself. I'm giving my name. So like when you do, you will give your own name. All I want to do is you can just say like, for example, uh, thanks. Yours obediently, and you can write your name. Like say you can say you are in first year, uh, BTech chemical engineering. Give your registration number. So your registration number can be like this, and then say you are at Shastra deemed to be university. Just do this. Right, so I have written my name. So that means you will write your own name, you will write which program year you are, you will write your register number, and you will write that obviously you are a Shastra deemed to be university. And you will just say for all new emails use this, and for replies also use this, and you just click on this. So after typing all this, you have to choose this under all emails for response, and then insert, and you just save the changes. Now when you compose an email, you can see here that your name, registration number, year, automatically everything comes up. So you can just type your message and send it. So this is one good attribute or a skill that I want as a practice of communication I want you to develop. The next one that I want you to do is the recovery password. How to set a recovery password. So go to settings, again this wheel kind of icon, go to see all settings, right? So this wheel, then see all settings. Now go to accounts, go to this accounts tab, go to this Google account setting. So this Google account setting open. So in your mailbox, this wheel icon, then accounts, then go to Google account setting. The Google account setting will open like this. You click on this personal info tab. Okay, click on this personal info tab, click here, okay, on the email, and you just add a recovery email. Please add a recovery email. Now I am not adding it now, but you will, I expect that you will add a recovery email, because I'm on a demo account, I'm not adding it, but you will add a recovery email. Now another thing that you have to do is, after adding recovery email, please add your contact. Go back to the same screen and you just say phone. You can see here there is a phone number provision given. So you can just go back here and you say add your mobile number. So again you have to log in. I'm not doing it now because my mobile number is already linked with another account, but you have to log in and then you have to add your mobile account. So if you do this, in case if you forgot your password for your Shastra mail ID, you will be able to recover it from your recovery email ID and the OTP that you receive from Google onto your phone number. So I repeat, you have to go to this personal info, add a recovery email, and also add a recovery phone number. So I hope these two things you will do today to show that indeed it is possible to learn online. Let me complete this in a minute with a series of program specific orientations that we have. Starting from tomorrow, we have program specific sessions as you see on the screen. So we have engineering programs of all engineering BTech and MTech integrated are scheduled tomorrow. This is including the engineering programs of the main campus and also of the SRC campus. And on 23rd, we have the law degree programs, all law degree programs, and the management degree programs of MBA, and the BCom CA and the BCom BFSI of the main campus will have their own specific thing on 23rd. 24th, we will have 2-year MTech program, MCA, B Optom, M Optom, MSc, both 2-year MSc and an integrated 5-year MSc of all the main campus and the SRC, right? In the afternoon of 24th, we have a special orientation only for B Optom and M Optom students. This is taken along with Shankara Netralia because this course is taken on collaboration with them. So there's an afternoon orientation specifically for B Optom and M Optom. And on 25th, we have the SRC programs of BCom, BBA, BCA, BSc, MCom, and the integrated B.Ed programs of the main campus will have on 25th. So I would urge that you need to attend your program specific sessions so that your program specific questions are answered. So I'll just sum up. Online education to me is this four things that you now see on the screen. It has its own strength because it gives you an ability to reflect your learning by watching the videos again and again. And you can watch the videos of any session for that matter, right? So there is a variety. There is no time constraint or a space constraint. The known weakness or the apprehensions of the online education is the in-person connect, or you can't have an eye contact kind of a real-time feedback. So we have a video type of lecture. Seeing 60 students in class is very different from 60 students on the video. And obviously, the practical component, the practical courses cannot be conducted. As we said that in this online semester, we have deferred the practical courses to the next semester. So that's a known weakness. We have to overcome this. Opportunity is learning is never stopped, right? Yes, we agree that we are facing through an unfortunate precedent pandemic, but thanks to the growth in technology, that the learning opportunity is there. And the most important thing, learning, especially in this online semester, is a commitment that we own for ourselves. And we have resource limitation as a challenge, as I said, data or hardware. And obviously, you need to participate. You need to make sure that you are not only live, but you are active during your live sessions and you participate in the chat, you raise queries. So I'll end up, this is my last slide for the day. Learning is a conscious, continuous commitment of the self. We can give all necessary things for you to learn, but learning comes from self and it's a conscious, continuous commitment. With this, I would like to stop the today's talk, and I would again request you to join back for tomorrow's orientation session. Thank you all.